Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson just takes a wrecking ball to Kaitlan Collins and reminds everyone that, hey, he might actually be deserving of the role of Speaker of the House. Let's dive in.
But if you have ideas and you have plans, why not have that out there to talk about in the public so the people can hear that debate happening? I mean, you could have committees in session right now.
They will, Kaitlan.
Talking about this. I think the question is maybe
we need to get back to regular session so we can. No, we're not going to allow Chuck Schumer to play selfish political games and hold the American people hostage. We will not negotiate with legislative terrorists. We're not going to let them do that. We can't. We owe it to the people to get this government operating again. Republicans have now voted 12 or 13 times, counting the House and Senate, 13 times to open the government, and the Democrats have voted 13 times to close it down. It is wrong. There is no reason for it, and they can't even tell you tonight what it is they're demanding, except for $1.5 trillion in new spending, $200 billion for illegal aliens to get health care. They want to send billions of dollars overseas for wasteful foreign aid programs and all sorts of other stuff.
And we've gone back and forth on, you and I have, on what Democrats want here and whether or not that's health care for people who are in the country illegally, obviously. But I think the question is on the health care plan, to Marjorie Taylor Greene's point, is if the government reopened tonight, would Republicans have a plan to address the Obamacare subsidies?
Yes.
You would have a plan
we
tonight.
Have proposals to, we could have that ready immediately. Yes. Yeah, because here's the thing. We work in a deliberative public body, and we have hundreds of members. It's a very complicated, very complex issue that requires a long time to build consensus around. We have ideas on the table, and the whole process of the legislative body is to build consensus around it. That's why we have to do that, and that's what we've been planning to do all along. It was never possible or appropriate to have this decided on a CR, a simple stopgap funding measure for 7 weeks, a clean continuing resolution. The Democrats know that, and they are not being truthful about it. And take Whip Clark's words for it. They shut the government down, and they're using hardworking American families who she says will suffer, and they know it, as leverage for this political game.
If it takes a long time to build consensus, why not bring the House back to talk about the plan that you say you have to fix health care?
Because the House has done its job. The House passed the CR. We did it over a month ago. And we need Chuck Schumer and the Democrats to do what they have always done. They did it 13 times during the Biden administration, 13 times. And Chuck Schumer did it most recently 7 or 8 months ago in March of this year. And he gave an impassioned speech on the floor and said, that's the only possible outcome. You could never possibly shut the government down because it would be dangerous and it would hurt real Americans. Well, he was right then. He is not being honest now.
We've spoken to Democrats about their past statements, but I think some people might listen to that and say, yes, the House passed the CR, but then you left town, and the House could come back and work on these other issues while the Senate deals with how they're trying to reopen the government. No?
No, well, it would allow Chuck Schumer and the Democrats more time to impose more pain on the American people. We've done our work. Right now, the House Republicans are in their districts doing extraordinarily important work by helping their constituents navigate the chaos that is being created by the Democrats' shutdown. They're trying to help their rural hospitals access the funds that we got signed into law July 4th before the Democrats try to claw it back. That's one of their counter proposals as well. $50 billion they want to pull from rural hospitals. It would hurt a lot of Americans. And they're trying to help small business owners and young women who rely on the Women, Infants, and Children nutrition programs. They're trying to help their veterans who can't access health services right now, and constituents who have all sorts of problems because all these federal programs have been shut down because of these political games. That's what the House Republicans are doing right now. They're working for their constituents, and that's really, really valuable stuff right now.
Yeah, and House Democrats will argue, well, we wanted more in funding for the rural hospitals, $137 billion, I believe. But can I ask you, Speaker Johnson?
Well, then why do they want to claw it back? Why did they file a counter proposal to claw the money back? You should be asking them these tough questions because it's serious stuff.
One thing that obviously you've been pressed on many times is swearing in new members of Congress. And when it comes to swearing in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva of Arizona, you have said that you're following the Pelosi precedent and not swearing her in. I think some people might hear that and say, since when do you want to be like Nancy Pelosi?
I don't. I'm following standard practice here. And I've explained this many, many times. We are happy to administer the oath to Rep-elect Grijalva as soon as we get back to legislative session. And the reason I cite Nancy Pelosi is because she was Speaker for a long time, and she did this multiple times, the same thing. Julia Letlow from Louisiana, in similar circumstances, was elected to fill the seat of her late husband who passed away because of COVID. Nancy Pelosi waited 25 days to administer the oath of office to her. Pat Ryan and Joe Sempolinsky were elected during an August recess period. So Nancy Pelosi waited 21 days until the House returned to legislative session to administer the oath to those new members. I'm doing exactly the same thing for Rep-elect Grijalva. And in the meantime, she can be serving her constituents and trying to help them through this chaos, just like the House Republicans are doing. She has 16 employees. She now has her phones and computers set up. She can be doing that, directing casework and sending them to get help, even to her two senators who have lots of extra time, because Senator Mark Kelly and Gallegos are running around the halls of Capitol Hill right now doing TikTok videos. They're staging publicity stunts outside my office. They should be helping Rep. Grijalva-elect help her constituents in Arizona. I wish they'd serve them a little better.
That's why he's the Speaker of the House, folks. It's not even the slam that he had on the Democrats, although it's rightly so. The weird trend of Democrat politicians walking around the empty Capitol building doing little TikToks, I'm sorry, that's just cringe. It's not funny, it's not smart. All it is a bad trend, and the Democrats are trying to ride a wave that has already come to shore. So, yeah, it is kind of cringe, and I'm glad that he's slamming him for doing this, but the reality is, Mike Johnson understands how you're actually supposed to conduct yourself in Congress. He understands the protocols, he understands the procedures, and it's all this boring mumbo-jumbo that really isn't fun, it isn't flashy, and it isn't going to get you a lot of rewards. That's one of the ugly truths of being Speaker of the House. Not only that, you also have to work with Democrats. By definition, you have to work with them, or else you don't really have a Congress. You have one-party rule. And only 4 times in American history has there been, at least since we changed up some rules in the Constitution, only 4 times in the past 100 years have there ever been 60 votes in the Senate, control of one party in Congress, and the same party controlling the White House. Happened in the 30s, it happened in once in the 60s, happened once again in the 70s, and happened under Barack Obama in his first term for 2 years. And in every single one of those cases, Congress got so out of control that the American people went, this is nuts, we need to go back to normalcy. That's what happens. The Democrats manage to promise the sun, moon, and stars and can't deliver on any of them. And the American people go, oh, no, this stuff doesn't work. Let's try the other party for a change. And so, understanding these historical trends, you need to understand that that's how so many Republicans have treated both the House and the Senate recently. The real reason the guys like Mitch McConnell aren't really these die-hard, digging in their heels and just going after the Democrat Party is because they have to play a little bit of ball, because guess what? If you're fighting against your own co-workers, there's going to be a bit of a problem. And so, Mike Johnson is able to balance this right, but he also balances it with the understanding that, hey, some people are being a little bit weird and out of line. But here in this video, he's also proving his real worth, and that is his understanding of how policy and procedure actually works. The reason I bring up so much historical precedent when it comes to this video is the whole idea of congressional balance, congressional power, and how to use it properly. We've seen how it's used improperly. That's how we got Obamacare to begin with. That's what this whole debate is allegedly about. Even though the Schumer shutdown is really about him trying to have as much power, show that he can really handle the levers of power, handle the Democrat Party, handle his own members to his left. When they're all talking about, well, we're really wanting those healthcare subsidies. If you really wanted those healthcare subsidies, you would bother, instead of trying to overregulate the healthcare industry, you would break it open, make it clear and visible so the American people can actually see how their dollars are being wasted when it comes to our insurance quality. We keep on looking around the world and we talk about healthcare and we're going, the Canadian model doesn't work. The UK model doesn't work. Out in Europe, Western Europe, most of their models, the only reason they work at all is because they have an extra guaranteed source of income. Norway, Sweden, Denmark, all of them have a guaranteed source of either oil or trade routes because Denmark owns all these islands in the Bering Strait and they collect easy fees in order for trade to pass through there. And the countries out in the Baltics, they're good producers. That's a huge farmland area out there on the North European plain. And again, I'm getting off in the weeds, but it's with a purpose. It's understanding how these systems actually work, why certain areas are able to go more leftwards. America cannot afford to go left-leaning at all. And I mean that quite literally. We can't afford it. The whole idea behind the entire Democrat Party operation is that, yes, our social, the social services can work. And we've seen that they don't. They don't. They de-incentivize your ability to go out there and earn for a living. They de-incentivize the family. They de-incentivize your ability to go forward. They basically stratify your own society. The reason that happens here in America is because of the automobile, but that's a longer topic for another day. What Mike Johnson, however, is trying to get through to Kaitlan Collins and her constituency out there on CNN is that there's a way things are supposed to work, and I'm quite literally following the rules as set down by the Congress before me, Congress way before me, Congress for the past 100 years. He's playing the game correctly. He is working with Democrats, and then he's also reminding them, hey, every now and then, you need to remove your heads out of the sand and start getting back to work. There's only so much you can do as Speaker of the House, but you do get to control which bills go where and which representatives go to which committee. And Democrats, for the most part, don't want to play ball like that anymore. They don't. They want to circumvent this system because deep down, their belief has been rooted in this progressive ideal that, no, the bureaucrats know more than you do. And Mike Johnson is simply out there reminding everyone that, no, that's terrible for the ideas of freedom. That's terrible for the American people. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Till then, y'all have a good one. And hey, we are actually opening up memberships. So if you want to be a member to this channel and keep this show running on all cylinders, remember, I'm the flashy center fielder, but we've got a couple of starting pitchers eating innings and doing the hard work behind me, behind the scenes. If you feel led, become a member of this channel. But until the next time, have a good one.